good to see you.
Yo, Vinny.
Early days, I just want to check up on the injury situation at the moment. I mean, early days for Harvey after his operation, but I just wonder how he's getting on with his recovery, what the plan for Roberto Firmino is this week, and has Trent also recovered from illness as well?
So let's start with Trent, because it's the most recent one, I think. Basically, our game started against Palace at 12 o'clock with him calling the doctor. He took his responsibility, but these guys, and it says a lot about our group, is that they always want to play. So even when he felt a little bit ill, he wanted to play, but it's better after 2 times 90 minutes with the situation of all these intense games that we took the decision to leave him out. But speaking about Trent, I have to speak immediately about James Milner, because we wanted to sort the situation with experience, but we got so much more in the game. James dominated this right flank offensively, unbelievable. I'm really proud that we have these players who only hear 3 hours before kickoff that they're going to play, and they play in such a decisive way, defensively and offensively. So big respect for James in that way. Trent is still not feeling 100%. He will do some jogging, hopefully, but he will not be in the squad for tomorrow. So hopefully, of course, no COVID symptoms, but still we tested regardless. So he's out for tomorrow and hopefully ready for the weekend. So we will build him up again. Then we have Thiago. How the gaffer said after the game, he had a calf injury. Shame, because he was taking the game by the hand. He was playing these passes like unbelievable, and real influence on our offensive play. So that's really the bad thing of this weekend, that we lose 2 of our, no, I would not say most influential midfielders, but really influential midfielders, with Harvey and Thiago in 1 week. So that's a shame, but he will not be ready for tomorrow, and he will not be ready for the weekend as well. We're waiting for the scan result, and then we know more, and then we can make a proper diagnosis. We have Bobby. He will start doing today parts of team training, so that's good. He's progressing really well. He will not be involved tomorrow. That comes too early, but it's really good, and a big compliment for our medical department that he's already where he is, and hopefully we can make him ready for the games coming. And we have, of course, Nico Williams, who is progressing really well. Also not ready for tomorrow.
Just on Harvey, just wonder how his early stages of his recovery are going, Pat.
Harvey's Harvey, a young boy, deals with it outstandingly, I have to say. And if you see our squad of players, we have so many players with. We had not a similar injury, but a similar situation where they had a long-term injury, and then you see that our group is a proper family. If you see how they reacted when it happened, there were 2. Nabi was with tears in his eyes next to the pitch. Curtis was like emotionally there. You see how much it means to all of us. Not just from a football point of view, but from a young player point of view. Of course, it's in such a good moment. We lost one of our better midfielders, but he deals with it really well. And how you see, we have a really strong structure in place with our medical department, with Matt, with all the guys around, and we try to support them as much as we can in this early stage. And with a long-term injury, it's like each day is a victory. You know, the small things make step by step, and he's focusing on this. Yeah.
Looking at the football side of things, how excited are you by the start to the season that you've made, but also when you look at the depth of quality that there appears to be in this title race now, how difficult a task is this title race going to prove to be, do you feel?
Yeah, that's the good thing about us. With the manager being already in place for such a long time, we have a clear identity, a clear culture we set in place. We have this mentality that we only watch the next game, that we prepare the next game as the next final. So now it's all about the League Cup, and this is what the game we want to attack, we want to compete in. We are really happy with our performances, not just only the results, the way we put our game into place, the hunger the players are showing, the decisive moments from so many different players in the game. I like that a lot. So we are confident, but also very hungry as a team.
And how are you looking to utilise the squad again, Pep? I mean, we touched on it with some of the absentees there, but I'm thinking there's an opportunity there for game time for the likes of Matt Phillips, the likes of Takumi Minamino as well.
Yeah. So if you think about team selection, you have to understand our way. So we want to compete in a certain style, with a certain style of football. We want to press. We want to be offensively. We really want to be dominant in terms of to control the game. What I'm trying to say is that if you want to play like this, if you want to compete like this, you need fresh legs, fresh minds, fresh lungs. You need energizers on the pitch, and that's what we try to do, bringing new players who can energize the others, because we play each 3 days. So understanding team selection, you need to understand our way. So how I said before, for us it's an important competition, despite what people are saying. One, because we want to introduce new talents. Second, we have this group of players inside our building who won so much, but to become proper legends, they are legends, who become proper legends. You need national cups as well, so we want to attack them. And we really look forward to this. If you look back the last 3 years in the cup, in this League Cup, it was Chelsea 3 years ago. It was 2 years ago we won the World Cup for teams in Qatar, so we couldn't play it. And last year we played against Arsenal and lost on penalties. So you play against two really good teams. You need to be lucky as well with the draw. And against Arsenal we created chance after chance, and in the end it became penalties. So that has nothing to say with how we respect this cup. Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Couple for Chris Coughlin from the BBC, Merseyside. Chris.
Hey.
Ibrahim Konate, he's had to wait for his opportunity, but what were your thoughts on his debut performance against Crystal Palace, and how well has he settled into the group?
Yeah, Robbo said it to him. Listen, all of us, we need time to adapt to our style. Virgil was probably one of the only ones who came in, but he still needed to adapt. But he adapted with immediately games, so he started playing and adapted to our style with time. An unbelievable way, like he was like a puzzle piece. No, missed one of the missing ones, like a big piece. But so Robbo explains it, and that's how they take care of him. He's settling in well. He's a beast in terms of physics, so he can catch so many players. He's strong in the air, has a really good build-up, so strong offensively as well. But he's still so young, so it's great to see him in the last game, make his debut, get it out of the way, and move on.
And you mentioned James Milner earlier. He's been involved in the EFL Cup in recent years, of course, with the youngsters as well.
Yeah.
When you see the way he performed at right back at the weekend, what kind of example does that set to the young players coming through? You know, he was topping so many statistics.
Yeah, big respect for James. That he's such a versatile player and such a strong mentality to be able to adapt so quickly to a new position or a new style against a very, very experienced, quick Premier League winger. But he eat him. He went for each challenge. He played on the limit, but really good. So that's not the only thing. I think with making these changes, you always hope that like the connection with the other players around. So with Hendo and Mo, that this stays fluid, and we had such great combinations between these three in the game. So how I said, he dominated the right flank, both offensively and defensively, and that's what we need. And of course, if there's one example in our group in terms of professionalism, it's Mo. No, it's Millie as well. So it's great, yeah.
Brilliant, thank you very much. We'll go to Carl Markham from Press Association, then to James Pearce from The Athletic. If we can start having the hands up for the embargo section, that'll be grand. We've got Paul Joyce up at the moment, but Carl, over to you.
Hi, Pep.
Hey, Carl. Hi.
You've spoken about the need to have fresh legs, fresh lungs, and rotate the squad. I'm just wondering, how easy is it for some of these players who haven't played a lot of minutes to come in and be effective in a game like this when they've barely played?
Yeah, and this is why it's so important that we had our group together for such a long time in pre-season, where we had so many games, where everybody played so many minutes. Again, I go back to our culture and our identity started a long time ago, so it's not that that's something new for the players. They are used to our way we want to play, so that's a really important aspect of. And then by the training ground, by what they are seeing in the last games, it's a huge opportunity for all of them, and the challenge lies more in making the team collective, making the team with changes proper together. Yeah.
And you spoke about this can be a competition for introducing young talent. I'm just wondering what thought process do you go through when deciding who makes the step up, and some of the younger players make the step up to play in this? What factors do you consider? Because it's not just a question of just picking 3 or 4 young players and sending them out there and saying, go on, have a run about.
No, yeah, it's how can I say? First of all, this league competition has proven gold for us. Huh? So I want to give one name who's going to start tomorrow. That's Curtis Jones. Why I want to say this name? Because he will play his 50th game tomorrow. So, and it all started with these kind of games. Another thing is that, example, our Champions League qualification. So everybody, our Champions League group, everybody was saying, what a strong group, the group of death, it's so difficult, it's that, all these things. And I was only thinking like, wow, we have 6 top games. If you come from a development or academy background, you know how important it is that you have like top games to develop. And one thing our group and our squad needs is to become better, to make the next step. And this only works with game time. So for young players, it's really important in the right games, with the right players around them, that there's still stability, that there's still a clear way of play, that we can push them. And second is, we need these games. The more games we play in the season, the better, because that means that we are progressing. And if we are progressing, we get better games. If we get better games with more pressure, the better, because we become a better team, because we learn, we adapt, we create these experiences with our team. Yeah.
Brilliant. And then to finish the open section, we go to James Pearce from The Athletic, and then we go to the embargoed part. James.
James.
Yeah, just as you touched on, then this competition has provided some fantastic opportunities for young players in recent years. We've seen Cade Gordon spend, most of the pre-season with the senior squad. How did he adjust to those surroundings? And is he someone, as a coach, you're excited about his huge potential?
I'm excited. I'm excited about our academy. So that's first. There are so many talents, like how do you say, diamonds? So many special players who just can't wait to make this step. So it's so important that we keep doing this, because with one player we push, we inspire a whole academy. So we have to keep this logic of the inside pathway. And one, because we win players, and second, because we become a better team, because young players will never let you down. Never, never. They never did, and they never will. About Kate. Before pre-season, we always make sure that our biggest talents, or our talents, that they start a week earlier than we start. So they start with the 23s training. So I went to the 23 training ground, or to the training, watching, and I see one player, and he has fire in each moment he touched the ball. He passes players like they are not standing there. So I call Jurgen immediately, like, wow, we have a new player here. So we take all these young players to the preseason, and when do you know you have a good player around you? Is when the senior players start taking care of this young player. So when you see James Milner speaking with Kate, when you see Trent becoming like a proper mentor, like when you see that they invite him to sit on the table. And all our boys invited him in our group, and that made it so not easier, but it made it good for him how to adapt to our team, to our style. But he is what you see a lot with these kind of wingers. They can outplay, they can combine, they can. But he has a goal in him, and he has this natural ability to be in the box between the goalposts to scores, even when the cross example comes from the opposite side, and not many talents have that. They have maybe dribbling skills, but they don't have this desire to shoot, to come in the box, to score. So he's typical Liverpool Football Club winger, in my opinion, because he has goal, he has speed, he has. Now we really like him. I'm really happy that he's with us.